Welcome to DIYs and Coffee, a series where we'll make something together and then we'll do something coffee related. It's all in the name, so let's get started. For today's episode, we'll be making some DIY wall art. My parents recently found these old canvases that I had played around with several years ago and asked if I wanted them. And I gave that an enthusiastic yes, because I had been wanting to do something for a bedroom wall space for a while, and this seemed like the perfect solution. I'm using all-purpose joint compound, and you've probably seen this method done before, but it really helped me to start fresh with these canvases and create something more neutral. Neither of these canvases had been hung up on a wall or ever really displayed, and so it wasn't really that big of a deal to cover them up, as much as it might feel or look weird to see a design just totally going away. But this first one was just one that I did organic shapes with. I didn't have a plan for it, I just went for it, and it was kind of like outside of my comfort zone and fun to do something a little bit different, but I never really ended up hanging it up. As for the elephant, I never hung that up either. I didn't even finish that one. It is just basically the solid shapes making up an elephant at this point. And I was a little nervous that the joint compound wouldn't cover that dark gray, but it worked just fine. And this is Kona that we're dog sitting right now. And for each of these canvases, I covered some of the front of the piece, and then I went to the edges to make sure that those were fully complete before I finished the rest of it. And you do want to make sure to do a thin enough layer so it doesn't get overly heavy. After making a good amount of progress, I decided to pause for a Twizzlers break and a water break. You may be wondering why I didn't start with the coffee portion and drink coffee while I was doing this, and the truth is, when I'm focused on a project, I hardly remember to drink coffee, and so I usually like to have it afterwards or before. I used the large putty knife to fill a lot of the bigger areas, and then I used the smaller putty knife to do the detail work. And the way that I thought about doing the detail work was as if I was frosting a cake. And it's kind of funny because I haven't really done that, but it still gives you the good visual of what you're looking for. I didn't want any obvious long lines or too similar of strokes next to each other, but honestly, I just tried not to overthink it too much and just enjoy the artistic, free-flowing process because it's really supposed to be just fun. And once I was happy with how it looked, I kind of had to cut myself off because you could keep adding little texture pieces forever. And after about 1 to 2 days of drying time, we hung them up in our bedroom above the headboard. And I love that it adds some visual appeal while still staying neutral. And for today's coffee segment, we'll be making coffee ice cubes. I don't know about you, but I don't have an ice machine, and so we make our ice cubes just in a tray, and I've really found that I can taste the ice cube in my coffee. It just has a flavor, and I don't know what it is, but it feels like freezer taste. And so my solution to that has been making coffee ice cubes. It also means that your coffee isn't watered down when your ice cubes start to melt. And the other cool thing is that, yes, you can make a batch of coffee and do this like I did with my Chemex today, but you can also just use leftover coffee that you don't end up drinking, because let's be real, that happens to all of us.